our first place to visit on our second day in London? Of course, we had to go to the famous Abbey Road Studios. That's right. Did you know that it is the most famous recording studio in the world and probably global music as well? Yeah, it was a Georgian townhouse built in 1831, and number 3 Abbey Road was purchased by the Gramophone Company back in 1929. Since then, besides the Beatles, Aretha Franklin, the Hollies, Pink Floyd, Adele, just to name a few, have recorded in those studios. Unfortunately, no tours were being given. As a matter of fact, only one tour a year, if they're lucky, gets to go in, like I said, each year to the Abbey Road Studios. But what we did do was we were like the Beatles too. We had to cross the Abbey Road crosswalk. My question is, why in the heck am I walking like a robot? I'm not sure of that. So I asked Deb take 2, and she did the end of it. But that's pretty cool that we got to do the crosswalk the same as the Beatles. Unfortunately for Debbie, it was just a picture, and 4 people ran the opposite way of her going. And then, of course, there she is at the end. Once that was done, once we did the crosswalk at Abbey Road, went back by the studio real quick, got a picture, and then we turned our attentions to Abbey Road Shop. Yeah, it's right next door, goes down below the studios there, and that's where we went. It's a very small shop, but it has quite a bit of nostalgia in there, from Pink Floyd albums to the Beatles albums, guitars, T-shirts, books, you name it, it's all there. Abbey Road Studios. You can always purchase stuff online, shop.abbeyroad.com. if you'd like to do that. All right, so right after we got done with Abbey Road, where did we go? You got it. We made our way back to London and Buckingham Palace. Now, my wife told me that we'd be able to meet the King and the Queen. Unfortunately, even though she's standing there, arms in the air, she's excited, we were never invited in. No. But it is pretty cool to see this place. I will say that. As a matter of fact, King Charles and Camilla was not there. But we did get to see the changing of the guards.
Siadaj, stawaj tu wysoko. Co? No. Nie, on lepiej niech nie staje go do ciebie. Nie, o tak oni już. No i teraz możesz się ładnie.
Then they're going to go see their other friends.
In front of the guard is all pea gravel, just to let you know if you didn't hear the crunch, crunch, crunch when they were walking by in front of us. And, of course, you've got the guards 24/7. Now, in front of the gates, of course, the Jubilee. That's right, the Diamond Jubilee that took place in 2012. And then also we saw banners about King Charles and his coronation. And that took place on the 6th of May of 2023. Then Deb and I walked away from the palace only to see the marching band walking around the fountain. And unfortunately, the police stopped us and a bunch of us from crossing the street, so they had the right of way. So we did get to see them, but we didn't get to hear them play at all, which is kind of a bummer. There's the fountain I was talking about. That's in the middle, just before the gates. This is off to the end over the garden area, that they have just off of the park that's there. Again, Buckingham Palace from the fountain. Again, the same thing, Buckingham Palace. And there it is again, the streets. You can see the street signs where we had to cross to get over there. And that is Kensington Palace. down at the end of the road there. Deb and I, of course, getting our picture in front of Buckingham Palace and a couple of times there. Of course, you got to do that when you're around, right? Then we made our way to Kensington Palace, my friends. Yes, where Will and Kate live, and they have tours, but we didn't realize that. So, word of advice, get tickets in advance because there was no tickets available. Princess Diana. This is where Harry and Will did the remembering of Diana, Princess of Wales, the statue in front of the reflecting pool. It is a garden behind all that you can walk through. And unfortunately, you can't walk in front of there, but Deb and I did get to walk around it. It was very somber, I might say. And it is on, I don't want to say the back side, but it's on, if you're looking at Kensington Palace, it would be on your right-hand side when we were there. That's right. We're going on a cruise, right, Dylan?
Yes, we are.
Yep, we're going on a river cruise in London, and we're going to have some fun. Matter of fact, the boat's taking off. Let's go! So, going by right now, you guys, is the London Eye on our cruise. Whoa.
Or would you like a live commentary? Yeah? Yeah. Alright then. I've got to stress I'm not a guide, I'm just a member of the crew. I'm fluent in 3 languages, but that does include English, American and Australian. Right, anything else, that's a little bit beyond me. So we're just going beneath the Charing Cross Railway Bridge. If any of you feel any water come down through this bridge, it means a train has been across and unloaded these toilets. Oh. No, I'm only joking, but these fine. Now, so once we're through the bridge, if you look to the left-hand side, over there on the river wall, there's a large stick of rock. Cleopatra's Needle, it predates the city of London itself. It dates back over 3,000 years. Once stood in a place called Heliopolis in Egypt, given to us by a grateful Egyptian viceroy for English's victory over the French in the Battle of the Nile. Behind the stick of rock, there's a white building with a clock face, Shellmax House. The clock face on that building, it is actually 2 foot larger than the one that's on the Houses of Parliament. To give you an idea about how big that clock face is, take a look at the minute hand of it. That minute hand, it does take a whole hour just to go round one. Massive, isn't it? Now this bridge in front of us, this is the Waterloo Road Bridge, the ladies' bridge of the River Thames. Over 95% of the workforce, they were female when this bridge was under construction. It has been faced in a very expensive, self-cleaning Portland stone. Every time it rains here, this bridge cleans itself. The exterior, this is kind of clean. The underside of this bridge is absolutely filthy in comparison. The National Theatre, it does get voted one of London's ugliest buildings every year by leading architects. Even King Charles himself, he once said on a live television broadcast that that building looks like a monstrous carbuncle. Will you find three bridges this close together? They quite often get referred to as the Tunnel of Love. It is said if you turn to a loved one, give them a quick kiss as you go through these bridges, it will grant you many years of happiness. To the left, you have the magnificent dome of St Paul's Cathedral, Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece. Completed in 1710, it took 35 years to be built. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world, only second to St Peter's in the Vatican City. Stands 365 foot tall. Now to the right hand side you'll see people on a tiny bit of beach here. That's the South Bank Beach Riviera. You've got people sunbathing over there on the golden sand bit. Was added by various reigning monarchs throughout the years. In its time, the tower, it has been a palace, a fortress, a prison, a mint, a menagerie, now more famous for housing the crown jewels.
Oh, hey, by the way, did I tell you how hard it is to find Mountain Dew in Europe? And this is how the can looks. Last day in London, I finally found a store with Mountain Dew. Woohoo!